I'm Ray Kurzweil. I'm an inventor, author, and futurist, and I invite you to join me at Global Future 2045, which will be a fabulous congress to explore the brilliant future ahead. Well, we're going to become increasingly non-biological to the point where the non-biological part predominates and the biological part is not that important anymore. In fact, the non-biological part, the machine part, will be so powerful it can completely model and understand the biological part. So even if that biological part went away, it wouldn't make any difference because the non-biological part already understood it completely. We'll also have non-biological bodies. We can create bodies with nanotechnology. We can create virtual bodies in virtual reality. The virtual reality will be as realistic as real reality. The virtual bodies will be as detailed and convincing as real bodies. We'll have different ways we can create bodies. We do need a body. Our intelligence is directed towards a body, but it doesn't have to be this frail biological body that's subject to all kinds of failure modes. Well, I think we'll have a choice of bodies. We'll certainly be routinely changing our parent body in virtual reality. So today you can have a different body in something like Second Life, but it's just a picture on a screen. Although research has shown that people actually begin to subjectively identify with their avatar. But in the future, it's not going to be a little picture in a virtual environment you're looking at. It'll feel like this is your body and you're in that environment, and that your body is the virtual body, and it can be as realistic as real reality, and the environment can be as realistic as real reality. And so we'll be routinely able to change our bodies very quickly, as well as our environments, in virtual reality, but it will feel very real. We'll ultimately be able to do that with real reality too, like self-organizing swarms of nanobots that can link themselves up into a virtual body. If we had radical life extension only, we would get profoundly bored. We'd have a profound existential ennui, running out of things to do and new ideas. But that's not what's going to happen. In addition to radical life extension, we're going to have radical life expansion. We're going to have millions of virtual environments to explore. We're going to literally expand our brains. Right now, we only have 300 million pattern recognizers organized in a grand hierarchy that we create ourselves in our neocortex. But we can make that 300 billion or 300 trillion. We can expand it. The last time we expanded it with the frontal cortex, we created language and art and science. Just think of the qualitative leaps that we can't even imagine today when we expand our neocortex again. We'll be thinking grander, deeper, more hierarchical thoughts than ever before, creating whole new institutions like art and science that we could not articulate. So we're not going to get bored. If that weren't the case, then I think, living for hundreds, thousands of years would be a profound philosophical nightmare. But instead, we're headed for radical life expansion.
Welcome to the Talking Head demonstration. I'm the result of a collaboration between the speech and vision groups at the Cambridge Research Lab in the UK. Until recently, I only had a voice. Now I have a synthesized face too. Last year, I could be very sad or be very angry. But this year I can be happy and afraid and even talk in a soothing way. Soon, I will be interactive, 3D, and be able to adapt to your needs. My creators want me to be the user interface of the future. One day, I might appear on your phone. I could be your personal assistant, your mentor, or your carer. Perhaps you'll see me in computer games, or advertising, or even in the movies.
For all alternative thinking, is now home to a research project that could radically transform passwords as we know them. Professor John Chuang has developed a way to verify a person's identity by analyzing their brain waves using electroencephalograms, or EEGs.
You process them and use that data to make decisions about whether this brainwave signal does indeed belong to the individual whose identity is being authenticated.
Brainwave authentication itself isn't new, but it's been limited to clinical settings, where EEGs required applying gel and electrodes to a subject's head. Some EEGs even call for needles.
But don't panic. There's no need to put needles in your scalp. All you need is a headset like this with a built-in electrode.
This particular headset runs $100 and, for the record, is absolutely painless. The technology is still rough around the edges. Currently, users must complete a one-time initialization phase that takes 40 minutes. Dr. Chuang hopes to cut that time in half as he refines the process. During initialization, users complete 7 mental tasks, ranging from simple requests.
So go ahead, close your eyes, focus on your breathing for 10 seconds.
To personalized questions.
I want you to imagine in your head singing the song. 3, 2, 1, go! The electrical signals generated during each task are recorded. The next time the user wants to log on to their computer, they're prompted to recall one of those past thoughts for 5 seconds, and those electrical signals are compared to the ones from the initialization. It turns out that even if 2 people are thinking about the same thing, perhaps they share a favorite song, their brainwaves are distinct enough to uniquely identify them with 99% accuracy. Dr. Chuang realizes people aren't going to swap out all their keyboards for EEG headsets. But as we move to either wearable computing devices or mobile devices where there isn't a keyboard that is readily available and a keyboard that we don't want to carry in our pocket, in that case, we need to think about, well, so how do I authenticate myself with these wearable devices? I think more natural authentication methods will have to be developed. Motorola recently announced that it's developing some authentication alternatives, electronic tattoos, and sensors that, when swallowed, send signals from your stomach. Try stealing those passwords. Dr. Chuang predicts EEG devices will soon be more common. This technology will continue to be miniaturized such that it becomes very straightforward to integrate into existing consumer electronics, wearable computing devices like Google Glass. But will past thoughts make the leap from research to reality? Experts in the field say it has great potential.
It was a very simple approach to recognizing people, but I liked the sensor. I liked the idea that the sensor was so easy to slip on and off.
One more time.
Easy, but Wayman says the system needs improvements.
What about external noise? What if I got in a high electrical environment? What if the 60-cycle lights overhead were turned on? Also, what about my mental state might make me unrecognizable? Suppose I'm agitated, suppose I've just been running.
Dr. Chuang plans to research those questions and others, such as, could the system be hacked?
Our early results suggest that that is not likely, because we had different subjects perform identical tests, and we were still able to distinguish between them. But we wanted to do a more systematic study for that. Despite reassurances, skeptics might prefer to keep tapping away at their keyboards. Early adopters, on the other hand, may be all too eager to see passwords become a thing of the past.
Tell me about Scanadu.
We are making this device,
Okay.
which is actually our vision of how an emergency room in the future would look like for consumers. They will have that complete clinic, major clinic of diagnostics in their hand, And even if they don't have health insurance, it's a do-it-yourself healthcare.
Can you do it to me?
Sure. It connects to your smartphone, so you have to take the device here in your left hand.
Okay. It's so tiny.
Yeah, and will be even, you know, smaller, and then you have to put it on your temple.
All right.
So.
Ooh. Okay, so it's scanning me right now.
And it does that in 10 seconds.
What role did Singularity play in helping your company?
I followed the Singularity University program of Future Med, and with the idea that I wanted to make a tricorder. You know, like they had in Star Trek. Yeah, because, you know, you just go to someone and you say like, oh, you're okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You will live.
So this is making Star Trek a reality.
Well, it's the first step. I think there's now like 100 companies who all together are making like really great inventions. And basically, you know, they always say that Google is making like the global brain.
Right.
Well, these 100 small companies, and a lot of them here in Silicon Valley, they're actually making the global body. If I hadn't come to Singularity, I would, you know, I would not have been convinced, I think, that I should set up the company here.